What's up everybody, Chuck Bailey with the Bass Channel here, and today we're going to be checking out the Punchline from JHS. Let's go. So it doesn't really take an eagle eye to notice that this pedal is a collaboration between JHS and the Beach Boys. Now, of course the Beach Boys are awesome, but on this channel we're of the opinion that limiting signature gear to only the music of the signature isn't necessarily fair to the gear. Therefore, you're not going to hear any Beach Boys songs in this video at all. Plot twist. No. Look, we know it can do Beach Boys, but and I know it says Beach Boys on the pedal, but look, if you want to hear a bunch of killer vintage flat wound tones, Philip Conrad has a great video on this pedal as well, so you can check that out. But instead, we're going to run a variety of basses, tones, and styles to give you an idea of how this pedal can sound for the modern working bass player, which is what most of the players in this video are. So, with that said, let's check it out. So a minute ago I mentioned working bass players. Naturally that's a pretty broad term, but when it comes to sessions and cover gigs, many if not most players are looking to get the most tone with the least amount of gear. The biggest bang for your buck, if you will, and the most tone without breaking the bank or your back. That's where the Punchline comes in clutch. This is the bass pedal version of that saying, everything but the kitchen sink, where the kitchen sink in this case would be a tuner. Outside of that, this single box is equipped with just about everything most players would realistically need. And I say most because the whole octave, flanger, synth, reverb gang is going to show up in full force, and I know in the comments at any minute. But anyway, the Punchline features a VCA compressor, a drive section, amp sim, and a 3-band EQ. So with all of that said, let's start from the beginning. We're gonna go over the amp sim. It's an analog bass amp simulation, and it's particularly effective when sending the signal directly to mixers, interfaces, PA systems, or front of house speakers. The gain knob adds tube-like harmonics and a really nice gritty color. And the presence control adjusts high and upper mid-range content, and I feel like it's an indispensable tool when your tone needs an extra push to cut through the mix. The compressor is a studio-grade VCA bass compressor that shapes the dynamics using ratio and threshold controls. plus a gain range of plus or minus 20 dB. The LED on the pedal's top right corner will illuminate when the signal meets the compression threshold, and that lets you know the circuit is active. This drive pushes clean sounds into vintage tinged breakup, and the added clean control is a killer feature that mixes clean signal back into the overdrive. And finally, the always-on mastering and EQ center. This section stays active even when the pedal is bypassed. You get a flexible 3-band EQ in the Baxenol style. The master volume control affects the overall output and is highly interactive with the other volume and gain parameters. Comp pre-mode places the compressor first in the Punchline signal chain. Comp post slots the compressor after the drive and amp sim sections for a vastly different sound. So, in closing, my final thoughts is you never know you want or need something until you think about wanting or needing something and you experience it. No, I don't like that. Let me rephrase that because I know what I want to say, but that didn't come out right.
Chuck will return to his thoughts after a quick word from our sponsor.
So in closing, this is one of those things that I didn't know I wanted or needed. I have been very fortunate with the gear I get to experience firsthand at the Bass Channel, and I'm super happy JHS sent us this. It's probably, outside of like bass guitars, this is probably my favorite piece of gear I've received all year. It's super usable. It's very, very, very awesome as far as the options it gives you, and that VCA compressor is, I love it. It sounds so good. And I've been on a real P bass kick lately, and I've been messing around with the McGrath P bass that we have, and some of the ones that we have in the back behind, and even the jazz basses like my Flea 61 reissue and my GNL. It makes everything sound punchy and full. It brings out all the clarity in those clean tones, and when you kick that grid on, it just gives this real nice vintage dig that you would get from like, really digging into like, like a tube, a very old tube style sound. It's tremendously worth whatever dollar amount it is. And I'm pretty sure I was talking to Cormac at McGrath Guitars, and he told me that it just dropped $100 online. So this is the perfect time for you to go get one. It is a 10 out of 10 for me. So in closing, thank you to JHS for sending this pedal to us and to show you. And of course, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I'm Chuck Bailey with the Bass Channel, and if you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe. And if you didn't, there's a dislike button also. But anyway, here's Wonderwall.